Today, let us discuss on the topic 1. The forgotten mineral, why modern medicine overlooks the power of salt in brain, hormonal, and metabolic health. Reference, Dr. James DiNicolantonio, The Salt Fix, Why the Experts Got It All Wrong. 1. Introduction, the misunderstood mineral. For decades, salt has been accused of causing high blood pressure and heart disease. We've been told to avoid it at all costs. But modern science tells a different story. Salt is not a poison. It's a vital nutrient that sustains life, powering your brain, thyroid, kidneys, and metabolism. Just as we need oxygen and water, we need the right amount of salt every single day. 2. Why we need salt. The body's electrical fuel. Salt is composed of sodium and chloride, two essential electrolytes. Sodium enables nerve conduction and muscle contraction, including every heartbeat. Regulates fluid balance inside and outside your cells. Helps absorb nutrients like glucose and amino acids. Supports adrenal hormones that stabilize blood pressure and energy. Chloride forms stomach acid for digestion. Maintains acid-base balance in your blood. Without enough salt, your body's electrical current weakens. You feel tired, dizzy, foggy, and depleted. 3. Salt and the brain, the electrical spark of life. Your brain runs on electricity, not just glucose. Every thought and movement depends on sodium-driven electrical impulses between neurons. The sodium-potassium pump in brain cells is your internal battery. When sodium is low, this system slows down, causing fatigue, confusion, poor focus, or even anxiety. That's why many experts, including Dr. DiNicolantonio and Dr. Andrew Huberman, recommend a pinch of salt in morning water. Overnight, we lose water and sodium through breathing and urination. A small amount of natural salt in the morning helps rehydrate cells and brain tissue, support adrenal and thyroid activation, prevent dizziness or brain fog, balance neurotransmitters like dopamine and GABA for calm focus. Salt is literally the on switch for morning energy and mental clarity. 4. Salt and the thyroid. The iodine connection. The thyroid is your body's metabolic thermostat, and it cannot work without iodine. The main dietary source of iodine for most people is iodized salt. The thyroid uses iodine to produce the hormones T3 and T4, which regulate energy, temperature, and metabolism. If we restrict salt, especially iodized salt, we risk iodine deficiency, hypothyroidism, low thyroid function, fatigue, weight gain, cold intolerance, and depression, goiter, thyroid enlargement. In addition, low sodium raises stress hormones like cortisol and aldosterone, which block conversion of T4, T3. So, salt restriction can double hit thyroid health, less iodine plus more stress. A modest daily intake of iodized salt keeps the thyroid and metabolism balanced. 5. Salt and kidney function, the energy balance. The kidneys filter about 150 liters of plasma every day and reabsorb over 99% of the sodium back into the blood. This process uses nearly 10% of the body's total oxygen. When salt intake is too low, the kidneys must overwork to retain every trace of sodium. This activates the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, RAAS, and stress hormones, forcing the kidneys to burn more energy. Over time, this causes renal oxygen depletion, mitochondrial stress, inflammation, and early kidney strain. Ironically, the low-salt diet that's meant to protect the kidneys can actually make them work harder. On the other hand, extremely high salt, 10 g sodium day, can overload kidneys only in people with existing disease. For healthy adults, 3 to 6 g sodium day, 1 tos 2 2 2, 1 tar 2 TSP salt, keeps kidneys efficient and balanced. 6. Salt and insulin resistance, the hidden link. Here's a surprising truth. Low-salt diets can worsen insulin resistance. When sodium intake drops too low, the body releases stress hormones, renin, adrenaline, and aldosterone, to conserve salt. These hormones interfere with insulin, making it harder for cells to absorb glucose. So, low salt, high stress hormones, higher insulin, more fat storage, and metabolic stress. Studies show that people on low-salt diets often develop higher fasting insulin and worse blood sugar control. This means that managing diabetes isn't only about lowering sugar, it's about maintaining healthy sodium levels for insulin sensitivity. Balanced salt intake keeps metabolism steady, energy high, and blood sugar stable. 7. Consequences of chronic salt restriction: fatigue and dizziness, muscle cramps and weakness, adrenal and thyroid stress, brain fog and anxiety, insulin resistance, kidney overwork. Instead of protecting health, severe salt restriction can trigger a cascade of metabolic stress. 8. Who actually needs salt restriction? Only a minority: advanced kidney failure, severe heart failure with fluid overload, liver cirrhosis with ascites, true salt-sensitive hypertension, about 25–30% of hypertensive people. For most healthy individuals, moderate salt intake is beneficial, not harmful. 9. The balanced approach, practical guidelines. Daily sodium, 3 to 5 g, 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt. Use iodized salt for thyroid health. Add a pinch of mineral salt to morning water for brain and adrenal function. Eat potassium-rich foods, bananas, avocados, coconut water, leafy greens, to balance sodium. Stay well hydrated, especially in hot climates or during exercise. 10. Beyond blood pressure, the untold truth about salt. Blood pressure, the untold truth about salt. For decades, salt has been unjustly vilified as a primary cause of hypertension, leading to widespread recommendations for strict sodium restriction. However, The Salt Fix, by Dr. James DiNicolantonio, challenges this conventional belief, arguing that the relationship between salt and high blood pressure is far more nuanced than commonly portrayed. The book explains that for most healthy individuals, moderate salt intake does not cause sustained hypertension. In fact, excessively low sodium levels can trigger hormonal stress responses that may raise blood pressure and harm cardiovascular health. When salt intake is drastically reduced, the body activates the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, RAS, and sympathetic nervous system, increasing levels of renin, aldosterone, and adrenaline, all of which can constrict blood vessels and elevate heart rate. Dr. Dowers. 11. Types of salt. Choosing the right kind. Not all salts are the same. Each type serves a specific purpose. Type key features. Best use iodized table salt, refined, NaCl, plus, iodine, main source of iodine for thyroid. Himalayan pink salt, 97–98%. NaCl, plus, trace minerals, plus, iron, hydration, cooking, morning water. Paikshrao. DiNicolantonio highlights that insulin resistance, sugar consumption, and processed low-salt diets may play a much larger role in driving hypertension than salt itself. Populations consuming natural, whole food diets with adequate salt, such as traditional Japanese or Mediterranean groups, often exhibit low rates of hypertension despite higher sodium intake. The key, according to The Salt Fix, lies in restoring electrolyte balance, ensuring adequate potassium and magnesium intake, and recognizing that the body's salt needs vary with stress, exercise, and individual metabolic health. In short, rather than being the villain, salt, when consumed in balance, may actually support cardiovascular stability, improve energy metabolism, and protect against the very conditions it was once blamed for. Sea salt, Celtic sea salt, natural marine minerals, electrolyte balance, cooking. Black salt, Kala Namak, sulfur-rich, smoky flavor digestion, taste enhancer. Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate, external use only baths for relaxation and magnesium absorption. Smart strategy. Use a blend, iodized salt for iodine, plus mineral salts for trace elements. And remember, Epsom salt is for soaking, not eating. 12. Supporting science. DiNicolantonio, J. The Salt Fix, 2017. Mente A. et al. The Lancet, 2016. Moderate sodium, lowest mortality. Groudel N. et al. BMJ, 2014. Low sodium raises renin, aldosterone, and stress hormones. Zimmerman MB Alert K. Lancet Diabetes Endocrinal, 2015. Iodine deficiency and thyroid disorders. Kumans, H.A. et al. JISN, 2004. Salt restriction increases kidney oxygen demand. Garg R. et al. Metabolism, 2013. Low sodium, higher insulin resistance. Huberman A. 2022. Saltwater hydration supports brain and adrenal performance. To conclude, salt is not just a flavor, it's life's electrical charge. It powers the brain, supports the thyroid, protects the kidneys, and maintains insulin sensitivity. Too little salt makes the body overwork, raising stress hormones, dulling the mind, slowing metabolism, and straining the kidneys. Too much salt, especially in processed foods, can harm salt-sensitive people. But in the right amount and right form, salt restores energy, clarity, and balance. Thank you. Holistic Wellness Foundation, IMFAL. Reclaiming balance. Salt as the key to whole body vitality. Healing beyond boundaries.